This is an absolutely fun card to create. This what it has a hole in the middle, and inside we got some butterflies. And really what you are to do is, before you close the card, you wind up your butterfly, close it up, and then put it in the envelope, so when the person opens it, the card, when it's open, the butterfly will fly around. For your card, what we're going to be using, we are going to be using thread instead of fishing line. I think that's the reason why it's not twisting correctly, because of the fishing line. But I wanted to let you know this is what the card we will be making. Your DSP and cardstock may not be 100% exactly like mine. You may have a slightly different color, but it will turn out just as nice. What I had done is I've accented this card with some color that I thought would coordinate well with this, and this is Bubble Bath, and we will be doing that. So let's get started on this card. First of all, what we're going to need is a circle. I got a circle here that we're going to be using to cut out that center. We need Memento black ink for the butterfly, basic beige for the butterflies on the inside of the card. Just going to put those off to the side. We have our card base, which we have here. Now the matching color for that, we have Designer Series paper. It's going to be really nice, kind of silvery on that. These I will be using for the little butterflies on the front, the accent colors, a piece for the center, the inside, and some scrap white. We need at least that we can get 2 butterflies out of. So those are the items that we need. Let's begin with the card base here. What we want to do is I'm going to open it up, and this is the front card, this on the right hand side, and I'm going to be placing this on the right hand side. Now I don't want to glue it down because I need to do work behind it, but I do not want it to move while I run it through the cut and emboss machine. So what all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tape, just a wee bit on the bottom, just on the bottom part. The reason I'm going to do that is so that I can flip this DSP up. So it's on there, it won't shift, but I can still lift it up to do the work on the card on the inside between the DSP and the cardstock. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay down the die on this. This is a circle die. I want enough on the top that I can add some tape to secure the twine, and enough on the room on the bottom to secure it on the bottom, plus add a sentiment. So I'm going to pop it on just about there. Again, let's get our handy dandy post-it notes, and I want to make sure that this does not move. So placing that on there, I really want to make sure, so I'm going to add at least 2 post-it notes to that. I don't want it to move. So let's go cut that with the embossing machine. I do want to give you one piece of advice. When it goes through the machine, make sure your card is not closed like this. Make sure the card is open and splayed so that it is only cutting this portion here. Okay, very important. I ran this card through the machine at least 2 or 3 times before I remove the post-it notes, flip it over, and make sure that it fully cut all the way through. Okay, that's very important. If it didn't cut through, this will not work. So I'm going to take these off. There we go. And I'm actually going to hold on to these pieces. I might make it for another card that I'm going to do with the butterfly. It was a really great idea. Perfect little circles. Look, they match so well. Again, I'm going to put it with my butterflies so I can make something else with it. What I want to do next is I need to add the string in between, but before I do that, let's stamp a couple of butterflies on our scrap piece of paper. Okay, we got our butterfly, and what I want to do is I'm using the medium-sized butterfly just to double check. You want, when you look at the circle, you want to make sure that the wings clear the whole space of the circle. If it's too big, like if it's this large butterfly, it won't twirl because it will be getting stuck. We don't want that. We want the smaller one. So lay it down and make sure that it will be able to twirl freely through the space of the circle. I'm going to get the Memento ink and I'm going to stamp 2 butterflies on here. And before I cut them out, I am actually going to get my Stampin' Blends and I'm going to be coloring them. And the only color I'm actually going to be using is only one color, is I want to highlight some of the wings, is I'm going to be using the matching color that is with the cardstock. So for this, it is Pretty Peacock. I'm only going to use one blend on this, and I'm going to use the light Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to be using the brush end. And what I want to do is, I'm not going to color the whole butterfly in. I just want to do some of it. And I want some of that to be white. So I'm just going to add it in on a little bit. And I'm going to leave the rest of the butterfly white. I'm just actually accenting some of the areas. It looks really cool when it's not completely colored in. There we go. And now I can get my die and I can cut those 2 butterflies out. So again, we'll place them on here and carefully cut them out to make sure that we don't cut any portion of the butterfly off. We want the whole butterfly in there. We have our butterflies now cut out. They are looking fantastic. There they are together. Love it. Looking fantastic. Really, really nice. I'm happy how this is coming apart. So what I want to do is I want to run the string at least so it's longer than the card so I can actually tape it down. What I'm going to do is take a piece of the thread. I'm going to lay it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one butterfly down, and I need to get that thread. Oops, can you see? I need to get that thread through the center of the butterfly. So I can see the center of the butterfly there. I'm going to lay it down and just touch it in. I already put a little bit of adhesive, but just to make sure that it sticks, I want to add a little bit of tape, just a tiny, tiny piece, just to make sure it stays in there. And I'm gonna like kind of use my thumbnail to make sure it's really well stuck in there. All right, so I have the one part done. What I want to do is lift this up. Remember I told you don't glue it all the way down. So what I'm gonna do is get a piece of tape and I'm gonna glue it down the center there. Okay, let's turn this a little bit. Okay, I want that taped. I might have to cut it a little bit more short, a little bit shorter. I'd rather have it cut like longer so I can cut it down, because if it's too short, you can't add to it. It's easier to cut away. I'm going to lift this up, lay the butterfly down. There you see about in the center. And I'm going to tape that down. Press it down with my nail just to make sure it's well secured. All right. I'm going to pull them up. And I want to make the line fairly tight without pulling it out. And I'm going to tape it at the top here. I want to make sure that that butterfly stays in the center. Okay, if a little bit of that tape goes beyond the cardstock, just cut it off. Okay, I'm going to cut that down. I don't want any pieces of it overhanging. Okay, if I lay that down, I want to make sure that it's clear. The top part, see, it might be a little tight, but there we go. We want it clear. So I have some adhesive on this butterfly. I'm going to get some glue dots, and I'm going to put them on the wings. I want to make sure that these two butterflies stick together. So I'm going to add that. The glue dots work really well because I can control where they're going. Okay. And put them on all of the wings. Oh, here we go. Come on, stick. All right, glue dots are doing its job. Now I'm going to take the other butterfly and I'm going to add it on top of that first one. And I want it to be even. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now that string should be tight enough. And what I can do now is actually just glue down this together. Oops, I think I'm out of glue there. Okay, glue that down. So I have this portion of the card ready. I'm going to place this off to the side for a moment, and we are going to work on the items on the inside. So this is the piece of white that goes on the inside of the card. There we go. You can see it right there. And what I want to do is I want to stamp some of those little tiny glittery butterflies, these ones right here. And I want to use a basic beige on that because I don't want a color that's really going to stand out, because just in case if I want to write on it, I can still write over those butterflies if I want. So I'm going to place them on there. And let's just do some butterflies. One. And this also will help that when I'm looking through that circle, I can see some of those butterflies. The basic beige is a super color. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it is really a really lovely color. It has got, a lot of people say, a slight tinge of green, but it's a beautiful color. It really is for ink, for stamping. So I'm going to place it down, and if I wanted to add some more butterflies, I could do that. I think I might add a little bit or here and there. But before I do that, because I only want one or two, I have a trick for you, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this butterfly, and you see it's all inked up. I need to clean it first. So let's do a good cleaning of that butterfly. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Scrub, and I'm going to clean it. There we go. I'm going to dry it. Okay, double check. I'm going to press on that scrap piece of paper and make sure that it doesn't ink up. Okay, so here's the trick. Okay, remember I only want to get a couple of butterflies. I'm going to take this half a butterfly and press that one in the ink pad. I'm not doing all of them, it's just one. So I can take that. Come on. And I can press it over there. See, look, there's just one. Again, I'm going to take it where it's kind of broken and place it down here. There we go. I think that's enough. Because I didn't ink the whole stamp, I only inked one butterfly. I can stamp just one butterfly, and that works really well. Okay, I have this. Now let's glue this into the center. And just in the center, and it has a nice frame around. I love cards that have the nice frame around. Okay, and I'm going to close it up, and what we're going to work on next is decorating a little bit more of the outside. Okay, so this is really nice. I want a nice sentiment in here, but I'm going to do that when I'm done the other butterflies. I'm going to take some of these. This is a purple color that I'm going to use, and in these dies are some little butterflies that I can take. So I can take these ones, and if I want to know what they're going to look like, I can kind of like just pop them on here. Oh, that actually might work really well. Could actually put them around, but I don't want to impede any of the wings. So if I put it like this one at the top, but I guess I could always cut it. So that's an idea. I think I'm going to try that. Okay. What I also want to do, there is a smaller butterfly that has some of this area that's will cut out. So let's take him. And I want to take the same butterfly that's here, this medium-sized one, and I want to stamp it on this cardstock and die cut him out. Doesn't mean I'm going to use him, but let's see how it looks. I'd rather have the option of having that butterfly than not having it. Okay, let's ink him up. Stamp on here. There we go. Looks great. And what I'm going to do, again, bring this in, add my Post-it note, and I'm just going to cut these guys out, and you're going to see how they turn out. They are going to look really nice, and I think we could use it for this or something else. Here we go. I'm bringing back these butterflies. This one has a little bit that we need to poke out. We'll just poke these guys out, and you'll see it looks really, really cool with the just the image of the butterfly itself. Okay. Get this off to the side. So if I kind of lay it down, he can kind of be coming in like that. What else have we got here? There is these butterflies here. I can poke them out, and again, I can lay them down. So I'll do this off camera. We also have our purple butterfly, which I can place on here if I want. So let's look at the options that we have here. Oh my goodness, these are really pretty. I can place that on here. Maybe not use this one. I don't know. What you want to do is you want to take your butterflies and you want to kind of work with what you got. I really like these ones that come like this. That's really pretty, but I also like this one on top. So I might actually use them all. I'm not going to glue them down. I'm going to get my sentiment and I'm going to see what works the best. Let's look at the sentiments that we have in here. There's that one that's long. I can place it right there. That would look really nice. I have the thank you, or I also have thinking of you. That's interesting. I think I like the longer one. So what I'm going to do is I actually stamp this on a piece of basic white. Do I have enough space on this? Oh, look, I have enough space on this. I'm actually going to cut the extra off just to make sure that I have a nice clean label. May work, it may not. Let's see how it goes. Okay, there's my label. Let's set up that sentiment. And I'm going to put it on an angle on this, and I'm going to be using my Memento Black to ink it up. Okay, let's see how good I am at placing it on a piece. Oh, that actually turned out. Now, it's a little wide for the sentiment, so I'm just going to be cutting this down. It's easier to cut down than it is to add onto it. So I'm going to close it. And as I look through the trimmer, hopefully I don't cut off the words. Oh, there we go. Okay. We have our sentiment. Everything is getting all skewed here. And I can place that on there. It's a little long, so let's bring it back a bit. I'm actually liking how the butterflies I think I'm going to use all these butterflies on here. So let's get some glue. I'm going to be using the glue dots because they can be brought up into a tiny little ball on the back of these guys. In particular, the ones that have the little pieces die cut out. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to ball it up. Oops, it's stuck on me, and I'm going to just touch it down. I'm going to do that for these ones also, but I'm going to look for the areas that are large enough, like here and here, that the glue dot will be able to sit in. So again, I'm going to take my glue dot and kind of roll it into a little blob. Okay, there we go. 2 glue dots should work because they are pretty tight. Now, the glue dot is on here, so I can kind of go a little bit over into the circle. Now remember, I don't want to impede the wings. Let's see if these wings, I don't want to impede the wings. Oh, it is, so I got to bring it down just a little bit. Good thing to know. There we go. Let's bring this whole thing down a little bit. Don't want to have anything that impedes those wings. I'm going to take my last butterfly and I'm going to add him with dimensionals. All right, just like that. And my sentiment, again with dimensionals. Add some height. Now, if you want, you can add embellishments to this, but I think there's just too much going on with this card already. I think it's got enough going on, so I am not going to add any embellishments at all. Okay, so the idea is when you put it in, you're going to twist this, and you're going to twist it like 20 times, like just keep going. So when you let go, that's what it happens, is that butterfly kind of twists a little bit. Okay, so I think we're done with this card. Just add a little bit of Wink of Stella if you want. Of course, Wink of Stella. You never have enough Wink of Stella. Don't forget to order your Wink of Stella. I think it's going on back order again. Don't want that to happen. You always got to have a whole supply of Wink of Stella. So we have the outside of the card, and there is the inside. I think it looks really nice. And look, it's still kind of hidden behind that. Okay, there we go. That is a fantastic looking card.